and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Happy Thursday. Thursday is one of my favorite days if you didn't know that, and if you're new here, I don't know why. It's like you've gotten over the hump of the middle of the week and you're almost to the end of the week, but not quite yet, so you still have time to get some work done before you hit the weekend, before you want to chill. It's a good day. Also, it's a day that I started, 8-9 years ago, that I just randomly put it out on Facebook. If you needed prayer, I'm here to pray for you. That's still a thing. I'll pray for people at any time, any day, but I just made sure that on Thursdays I really highlighted that. I haven't done that for the past 6 to 9 months, I would say. I need to get back on that. But anyway, it's just always been one of my favorite days. So happy Thursday. I hope that your day is going well. And if it's not, just remember that you can find at least 5 minutes by yourself to feel peace, to de-stress, deload, and problem solve to make the rest of the day better, make the next day better, and to be able to move forward knowing that things can improve and not always be bad. So I hope that you take that advice if you're having a rough time. If your day has just begun, just go in with the mindset that it could be an amazing day. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best day ever, but it can be an amazing day. You can get a lot accomplished. You can be able to get through any sort of setbacks or any problems that you encounter and just continue moving forward and doing your best you. So happy Thursday. Just a reminder, this week we are talking about motivating yourself. And today, Thursday, we are going to talk about create the habit and stay motivated naturally. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the episode. Sometimes it's helpful to push yourself to create a habit of your routine to stay more motivated. So whether your goal is related to fitness, career-based, creating something, becoming knowledgeable in something, you can create a routine that will make it habitual to keep going. And it may be difficult in the beginning, and you may need to really push yourself to do what needs to get done at first. But if you do, it's so much easier going forward. I feel like anyone that has created a habit out of anything can really attest to this. For me, when I think it was September of last year, 2019, I started getting up in the morning before work and going to the gym, because previously to that, I would work out, I would go to work, come home, make dinner, chill with my family, and then at 9:30 I would go to the gym, because the gym was open until midnight. That was my routine. But I found that by doing that, I was just, I didn't really wake up in the morning and I didn't feel refreshed. And sometimes I would be able to slip out of my workout because I would feel like I would need to get up early the next day to do this, that, and the other, or I would just feel too late, or I decided that I did want to eat dinner with my family, because when I was working out at night, I would make dinner and then I would do some chores or hang out, and then I would go work out, and then I would come home and reheat what I made for dinner, because I didn't want to eat and then have all that food weighing on my stomach, because I have digestion problems, so I didn't want to eat and have all that food hanging in my stomach while I would go to the gym and work out. And so it was just a routine that I personally felt really wasn't working for me. So I decided, you know what? I'm a morning person anyway, even though I waking up at 5:30 every morning on purpose, was really, really pushing my whole morning person thing. I want to wake up at 6 or 7 and then kind of do a couple things and then get ready for work. But I had to get up at 5:30. That was the time I'd have to get up, so I could get to the gym, do my workout, come home, get ready, take my daughter to school, and then go to work. So the whole routine. So anyway, I decided, you know what? I'm going to have to force myself for the first little while. For me, it was probably, I feel like I really hit my stride personally at week 3 or 4, where I forced myself to get up every day, and I was getting up more and more, as time went on, more and more naturally at 5:30, and it wasn't really a struggle. There were a couple struggle days if I didn't go to bed on time. See, the whole routine, it changed my whole routine in my life. I would have to go to bed a little bit earlier because I know I was waking up earlier, but once I got it down, it just became a habit, and it became so easy, and it was just so automatic, It's like, okay, I have to go to bed by like 10:30 or 11 so that I can wake up at 5:30, get to the gym, work out, do my whole routine. And it just felt so much better. I was able to spend more time with my family, eat dinner with my family. It just worked out better. So it can be really hard in the beginning. Like for me, forcing myself to get up, not telling myself, oh, I can just sleep like a few more minutes, or no, I can just skip today and then work out later, or not work out at all. Like, you don't want to let yourself off the hook when you're trying to establish a routine, establish a habit. You really, really have to push yourself so that it'll be easier in the future. And that's kind of like what I had to tell myself. I had to tell myself, okay, if I just keep going, it'll become easier over time. It's just like working out in general, like the more that you do it, the easier it'll become. Even though you do want to like practice progressive overload and make it harder, it will become a little bit easier over time to be able to load that extra weight on and take on the extra brunt of it and work a little bit harder. So that's what I mean. Like it can be hard in the beginning. So you really have to like have that mental strength to continue to push forward. And science shows that a habit is created after approximately 66 days and will make those actions automatic. And I know most people think it's 30 days. Everyone's like 4 weeks or 30 days to a habit, but it's actually longer than that. That the actual science that's been done says it's 2 months, actually approximately 66 days. So if you're going to go out and create a new habit, a new routine, I would encourage you to just know that it's going to be at least 2 months and not just 1 month, because you don't want to go and create a new habit or routine and only do it for a month and be like, oh no, it just didn't work for me. This is just not the habit for me. And then give up. No, I would encourage you to try it for at least 2 months, and then you can find that it's better. I know that I said that for like week 3 or 4, that's when it became automatic for me. I know it's going to be different for everyone, but they say on average to have something that just becomes automatic and just completely solidifies in your whole lifestyle, 66 days. Putting in the work at first can be really worth it in the end and make it so much more easier to accomplish. Like it's just plain and true. You got to put in the work in the beginning for it to pay off in the end. And it does make it so much easier. Like I already detailed, if you just work really hard at the beginning, it'll just continue to be easier over time, and it won't be such a brunt for you to like continue on with that habit. Sometimes there can be interruptions in creating your habit, which is normal, and requires mental strength to pick back up and push forward, especially if this happens before the habit has fully been established. So for me, my whole going to the gym in the morning thing, there definitely were a couple mornings where I was like, oh, I don't want to go. Or I think there was like a morning or two where for whatever reason I didn't set my alarm, or I did set it, and then I just like I went to bed so late and I was so overly tired that I just like hit the snooze, and then I didn't wake up and I didn't go. And I missed that day. And I'm just like, well, I didn't go. It kind of like broke the whole like routine of me going every day. And I can't remember if it was like week 2 or 3 or whatever, but there was a day where just like I didn't go, and I was like, you know what? I'm still going to go. I'm going to go the next day. I'm not going to punish myself this day for something getting in the way. Me like not waking up on time and not realizing that I hit the snooze and just all of this stuff, and not being disciplined enough to go to bed on time the night before so that I missed it. All these things. I didn't let them just like stay in my way and just give up and be like, oh no, now that it's not like, this perfect pattern, this perfect continuous pattern. No, you can't do that. You can't let that be your excuse. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to not give up. There are going to be setbacks in anything that you do. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be interruptions. There's going to be problems that you encounter, because that's just how life is. All those things create learning and growing opportunities in our life that we all absolutely need and benefit from, and just make us those better people that we are actively trying to be. Make us stronger, make us more wise, just really help us to be the best we can be. So I would encourage you to not let those things become excuses, but let those things actually make you stronger and better. If you have trouble establishing habits, get an accountability partner that can help you out. So maybe you're just not really good establishing habits, or maybe you are, but this certain habit, like let's say you're able to establish the habit of taking your vitamins every day. I really suck at that. I'm getting better and I'm trying to create like a system for myself, which is another suggestion. If you want to create a habit, I suggest creating some sort of system around it. Like for me, for taking my vitamins, if you're really bad at that too, I have this like little, I feel like I'm like 70 years old, which is such a terrible characterization of this thing, but I feel like I am, because I have this little pill thing where it has all 7 days, like little boxes for all 7 days. And so I, like at the beginning of the week or in the middle of the week or whenever I remember to do it, I will fill it with all the vitamins I need to take every day for every single day. And then I will leave it in a spot where I will see it so that I take them every day. And that is the system that I've created. So let's say that you want to work out. You got to create a system of like, okay, you tell yourself you have to go to bed at this time the night before, set like 20 alarms so that you actually get up, have already picked out your workout clothes, have everything ready to go, so no excuses. You can't like dawdle in the morning and like miss your opportunity to work out because you didn't get there on time or this, that, and the other. And I would encourage you that if your problem is needing to go start in the morning and do something before you start your workday, even if you're going to be late, still go, because you at least have done a little bit of it. You'll still feel much better if you at least do some of it, whatever it is, working out, journaling, meeting up with friends, walking, whatever it is, working on your side hustle. At least do a little bit of it. But yes, so back to what I was saying originally. If you do have trouble establishing habits and creating some sort of like routine, I would say get an accountability partner. So for me, I don't really like accountability partners personally, but that's because I unfortunately isolate myself on purpose. That's just kind of the season of life that I'm in right now. And I prefer to create systems to get my habits and routines, things I need to do done. But I know a lot of people will benefit from an accountability partner, which I know why, as a lot of people go to the gym with a gym buddy, or they have a walking buddy, or maybe they'll check in with each other throughout the day. Like, did you take your vitamins? Or did you spend an hour working on this, that, and the other? Or, did you, or let's get on FaceTime together and fold our laundry at the same time because you let your laundry pile up. Girl, I know, that's me too. Just have someone that's going to encourage you. Maybe they're dealing with the same thing, which is super helpful because then you guys can encourage each other back and forth. Or maybe you guys are encouraging each other for super opposite things, which I feel like is even better, because then you can't both be like, yeah, let's just both not fold our laundry because we both hate it. It's like, you need to fold your laundry, I need to do the dishes. Let's encourage each other to do the things that we need to get done. So I feel like accountability partners are super helpful. If you find that having that encouragement from someone else in your life that supports you, reach out to you and help you, then it's like a no-brainer. The goal of creating the habit is to come to the point where you don't have to fight with yourself to get crap done, no matter how badly you tell yourself you want to get it done. So I feel like a lot of us will just be like, yeah, I really want to get that thing done. I really want to do it. But you just won't. So that's why you have to create the habit of doing it so it just becomes a natural thing. So for me, a habit besides taking my vitamins every day, another habit that I'm trying to create that's a daily thing is to clean up the kitchen every day. So it is so easy for me to make lunch, especially now working from home. Make lunch, make dinner, leave the kitchen a total mess, not want to deal with it before I go to bed. Wake up the next morning, dishes continue to pile in the sink, outside of the sink. You have scraps here and there all over the kitchen. All the recycling piles up. Everything is just chaos. And then that means that one day when it becomes like I run out of dishes, or it just becomes so overwhelming to do anything in the kitchen that I have to spend like an hour just doing the dishes, cleaning everything up, when if I just took like 10 or 15 minutes to clean up every night before I go to bed, then it's not as bad. And you might be thinking, well, maybe if you only spent like an hour a week, like no, it ended up, and that, like if I let everything pile up, it ends up being like an hour or like 2, maybe 3, because for some reason we create a lot of dishes, especially now, all of us home all the time. It's so annoying. And I want to like get some paper plates for some things. But yeah, so I'm just trying to create the habit of like cleaning up the kitchen every night before I go to bed. And so I don't have to worry about it. It's like one less thing to stress about or waste my time on when I could be doing other things that are more productive. So I would just say that just consider whatever you're doing, consider creating a habit for it. And you might think that habits only are things like working out or taking vitamins or something that you have to do. But even if maybe you're trying to become like a writer or write a book, make your habit like writing a few pages every day, or putting a timer on and writing that much every single day, or however many days that you can do it. Have a schedule. Maybe you want to, make videos for YouTube. You got to create a habit of like certain days you will do content and certain days you will film, and like create a schedule, which will create a habit because those are the days that you do those things. So whatever it is, whatever goals and dreams you have, aspirations that you want to accomplish, create a habit out of it so it just becomes so automatic in your everyday life. Okay, I feel like I've beat that one down enough. Thank you so much for listening and joining me on this episode. I hope that it's been really helpful, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming back each time, and I hope that you share this episode with anyone that may need to hear this information, might benefit from it. Also, I encourage you to come visit me over on Instagram or send me an email if you have any questions or follow-up. All that information is down in the description box. Again, happy Thursday. Thanks again for coming back and listening. I hope to see you for tomorrow's episode on Friday, and I hope that you have a good one. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.